Hey guys, how are you all doing? It is good to be back with you all again. Um, had a really good shift yesterday and just wanted to touch base. I know we haven't had a chance to talk since then. So just a couple little things that have really been on my heart that I think are so important. And I definitely want us to be able to share those things today. So for all my new friends who are here, it's good to have you all here. And if you clicked on this video because you feel tired emotionally, mentally, or just in a way that sleep doesn't always fix, um, this space is for you. Now, this isn't a motivational push, it's not a checklist, it's just a pause. Um, just like any athlete knows, before you sprint, you actually breathe. So this is just some breathing time for us. So I just wanted to talk about, what burnout really looks like. Burnout isn't always crying in a car, finding a little space, a little quiet room to cry in, or just wanting to quit right on the spot. That isn't what burnout always looks like. Sometimes it just looks like doing everything right, but you still just don't feel anything. Um, it's the compassion fatigue, it's irritability, it's numbness, not feeling anything. It's always feeling like you're behind, even when you're really not. We know that in nursing, burnout usually hides behind our professionalism in the roles we play to so many people that we come into contact with every day. But we have to get to the place where we remove the shame that's associated with that burnout. Too many nurses feel guilty for being burned out. It's almost like our taking the time to care for ourselves makes the patient seem less important when that's just not the case. It's just not true. So, burnout doesn't mean that you don't love nursing. It just means that nursing as a profession has asked more of us than we're actually able to give. And we have to really know that and understand that so that guilt doesn't attach itself to us and to ourselves. So I just want to take a moment. I want to just kind of slow things down right now and just do things that will help bring calm to our nervous systems. I think it's not until you actively just think about it and be intentional in the moment that you realize just how wound up we really are. Wound up tight. Like any little thing could just cause you to snap. And sometimes it's not until you're really aware of it that you're forced to pay attention to it, that you really see what that's all about. And I think that's kind of where we are right now. I know I am. The mere fact that I'm saying, let's just take time right now just to be in the moment, to relax, to just breathe. I feel myself calming down, which means that tells me myself that I was wound up more than I should be. So notice how your body feels right now. Just notice what it feels like. This is what being intentional, and this is what pausing really looks like. So I want to pose a few questions to you today. And don't mind me if it looks like I'm looking off a little. It's just I want to make sure I'm staying on track with my notes that I have to be able to share. But um, These questions, I don't want you to just kind of answer them right away. I want you to think about them, sit with them, but be intentional in your thought about them. So, one, what are you exhausted from pretending doesn't bother you? I'll ask myself, what am I exhausted from pretending doesn't bother me? What part of my life feels like it's always last? And if rest really were allowed, what would that look like? And these questions, it's not for them to have perfect answers. The fact of the matter is they need to be honest answers. You have to be truthful with yourself to be able to see and know what that really feels like and what those answers really are. I think it's not until we do that and we can be really transparent with ourselves that we're really able to get to the bottom of what drives us as nurses, what holds us back as nurses, what keeps us caged as nurses, and then in turn, what can liberate and free us if we pay attention to those things. So understand that burnout is not failure. So burnout is not a moral failure to yourself. But what it is it's feedback. It lets you know that there are boundaries that we should have in place that are missing. It lets us know when the expectations we set for ourselves or the expectations that others set for us are really unrealistic. It also makes it glaringly obvious when we need support and that support is lacking. So sometimes the best thing we can do for ourselves is to be honest and to really admit that this is too much for us. It's just too much right now. And when we're able to be able to say that and be that for ourselves, listen, the fact of the matter is, and I had a conversation with a friend about this the other day, boundaries are necessary. And it never fails. Whenever we have these kind of conversations or whenever we decide we're going to make these changes, these are exactly the things that come up to see if we're really serious about what it is we're saying. So boundaries are extremely, extremely important. And it's something that we have to put in place for ourselves. So in this series, I'm having a new series coming up. And I can't wait for you guys to join me so we can talk more about it and really explore what this looks like. We're going to talk about movement, about making these changes, about the small steps, mindset shifts, shifting our mindset, and really practical things we can do, practical changes we can make that we can actually maintain. It won't seem so far-fetched that it's something that you only do once and then never revisit. So it's really important for us to know that in addition to boundaries being necessary, those boundaries are going to ultimately help us get to where we ultimately really need to be because we aren't there yet. So, if we don't really think about it and think about the rest that we need, these are things that ends up leading right back to burnout all over again. So, I want you to see this video as permission to pause. And we're going to pause together. We'll pause together before we go ahead and move forward. So I'm really looking forward to exploring more in this series that we're going to have surrounding burnout. So, and I always love to say this, I want to make sure it resonates with you. So it's going to be something that I say all the time. I want you to remember, if no one has told you lately that you matter beyond your role as a nurse and that you are allowed to rest without feeling that it has to be a reward for something you've done. So when you find you're ready, we'll do this sprint together. And it's not going to come from a place where you're pressured to do it, but I want it to come from a place where you're clear and you have clarity surrounding why you're going to do it. So until then, I want you to breathe. I want you to rest. And I really want you to stay connected because you are not in this alone. So if you find that this video feels like a deep breath, please let me know. Put a heart in the comments. Let me know how you feel about this. And I want you to subscribe. But subscribe when you're ready. There really isn't a rush. We're here. I'm here. I'm going to be here every day. The series is going to be here. So I want you to feel that you can be an active participant or you can be someone who's on the sideline, but whichever form you take in terms of your presence, I want you to be that. I want you to be present and know that ultimately it's going to be what's best for you. So I'm glad you're here. I want you to take care. Have a great one. And until next time, bye.